Shalom everyone, this is the latest updates on the situation in Ukraine, the latest breaking news and everything that you need to know for today.
Папа будет продавать что-то.
And Dad will be selling things and helping our heroes, our army. He might even fight.
Today is going to be a very critical day for both Ukraine and Russia. I'm going to expand on that. And before we talk about these things, why is this war happening in the first place? Let's remind everybody. First of all, Ukraine has asked to join NATO. NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's basically a military coalition between Western countries and also countries in Eastern Europe. It has a lot of sections, but the main one is that if one country is attacked by another country, then all of the countries in this military coalition will come to the help of that specific country until order is restored and peace is restored. So Ukraine wants to be part of that. The NATO military coalition was established in 1949 and the Russians were not part of that. It was mainly a Western thing, so they established their own thing. And mind you, this is the era of the Cold War. So they established the Warsaw Pact that included Eastern European countries. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, these Eastern European countries like Hungary and Romania joined the NATO. So the Russians found themselves threatened by NATO, and now Ukraine wanting to join NATO was a red line for Putin. He said he basically wants to have a country that will separate between NATO, between the West and the Russian territory, and Ukraine is just about in the middle. So that's how Putin portrays this story. Obviously, this does not give the right to anyone, to any dictator, to invade a sovereign country. Basically, that's what he's doing. But his greater goal is to establish Soviet Union 2.0, but in a very smart way. Unlike the previous time that everybody were under one flag and one leader, this time what Putin wants to do is to not establish one huge country under one flag, but a lot of countries having their own flag, their own national anthems, but one friendly government to one dictator, Putin. So he basically wants to establish a Russian-friendly government, a pro-Russia government in Ukraine, as he established one in Belarus and other countries. So that's Putin's main goal. But regarding NATO, this important section of coming to each other's help was implemented only once in history, and that was after 9/11. But today we see that this section is not being implemented because Romania is the member of NATO and it was attacked by Russia, a Romanian warship. Greece is also a member of NATO and Greek people were bombed in Ukraine. We don't see these nations coming together. So regarding that, I think that the NATO members are too scared of Russia. They don't want to deal with it, which is very worrying because China is watching this, North Korea is watching this, so they see that they have the right to be an aggressor if they want. But that's the quick reminder. What is happening today is that the truce talks, the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine are happening today. They are taking place in Belarus. A Ukrainian delegation has arrived to the Belarusian border, as well as the Russian delegation. So President Zelensky said that he does not believe that anything will come out of that, but it is happening. While it is happening, there were reports of Russian and Chechen troops moving their forces in masses into Ukraine. So while these negotiations are taking place, the Russians are taking advantage of that. And you know, as much as people like to say this, I don't think that the Russian troops are very much interested in slaughtering the Ukrainian people. I think that they are there and they just don't really understand what they are doing there. They were just told to hop on the armored vehicle and drive. That's pretty much how it was. But with the Chechen militants, it's different because they are radical Islamist terrorists and they are bloodthirsty militants that they want to slaughter Ukrainians. They are excited about that. So this partnership between Russia and the Chechen terrorists is very, very worrying and bad news. But also in regards to that, the UN Human Rights Council is going to hold an emergency meeting regarding the Ukraine war and perhaps pass a resolution. It really doesn't mean anything to Putin. He does not care about these international forums. He already knows that he's being portrayed as the bad guy. He is the bad guy. But he doesn't care about that because he thinks that the West is his enemy. If he couldn't join the West, then he will fight the West. That's his current ideology. Israel, where does Israel stand? Israel is sending help to Ukraine. 100 tons of humanitarian aid had been sent to Ukraine. Israeli diplomats have been working tirelessly around the clock on the borders, helping to evacuate Israeli civilians who were stuck there or did not leave on time. Israel is expected to join this resolution that will be passed against Russia, condemning Russia. I think that, seeing so many people around the world protesting, uniting with the Ukrainian people, this is really mind-blowing. It shows, it gives me faith in humanity to see people that don't stand idle, that are not indifferent, but they take action. And I think that this helps to build the morale of the Ukrainian troops, the Ukrainian people. And regarding the Russian troops, they are still in Ukraine, but they are being hammered by the Ukrainian troops who are fighting back and resisting. The Ukrainian nation is standing very strong and united together behind the Ukrainian President Zelensky. So I will keep you updated, and let's hope to see